The morning was the beginning of a busy day. The sun had just begun to shine its bright rays on the earth, and the birds had begun to come out of their nests to gather food. On this beautiful morning, on the side of a busy road, an ordinary middle-aged man named David ran his own small cake shop. His cake shop was small but very well organized. His shop sold cakes, pastries, cookies, and coffee, which were very popular among the teenagers there. Every day, school and college students would come to David's shop and gather in a crowd. While they chatted and talked among themselves, David would also mingle with them. In fact, David considered them his own family. Actually, David had no family of his own. He lived alone. That's why he considered the little boys and girls who came to his shop as his own family. But more than all this, David had a great friend named Buddy. Buddy was a small, brave dog who lived in the alley next to the cake shop. Buddy would visit David's shop every morning, and David would feed Buddy cookies with a smile on his face. When Buddy ate, David would pat his head. Their relationship was a strange one, where there was only unconditional love. Buddy would come to the shop every day and eat cookies. It was their daily habit. One evening, while closing the shop, David saw that the sky was very dark and the clouds were gathering, and that a storm and rain was about to start at any moment. Although the radio had forecast a storm some time ago, that's why David was closing the shop early today. As he was leaving the shop, he saw Buddy standing in front of the shop. David patted Buddy on the head and said, "Dear friend, go to your shelter quickly. It's going to rain heavily soon. Be careful." David then slowly walked toward his destination, and Buddy stood still and watched him. Buddy's mind was telling him that everything was not right. Something bad was going to happen. After David had walked a little way, a strong storm suddenly arose, and the speed of the storm was so much that it was making everything messy. Some trees and lampposts were blown down on the road. But David ignored the storm and continued on. And then the clouds broke, and a terrible rain fell, and David walked towards his house, soaked in that rain. It rained all night long. Friends, if you are watching my video till now, it means you liked this video. So please subscribe to this channel, like the video and share it with your friends and family. This will encourage us to make more videos. The next morning was sunny and bright. Buddy, as usual, appeared in front of David's shop, his fur drenched and his body shivering. But the shop was closed that day. It had never happened before. David used to open his shop every day. Buddy thought to himself. He sat in front of the shop looking out at the street all day. Day turned into night and night turned into day. Buddy waited in front of the shop door, and 2 days passed like this. Buddy realized something had happened, and he did not wait any longer and set off for David's house. Buddy ran through the muddy street and finally he came to a stop in front of an ordinary house in a flooded alley where he visited once before. The front door of the house was slightly open. Buddy cracked the door open and entered the house and saw David lying on a small bed with his eyes closed, wrapped in a sheet. Buddy put his hand on David's forehead and realized that he had a high fever and was in a very bad condition. David opened his eyes slightly at Buddy's touch. Buddy then rested his head on David's chest and David placed one of his hands on Buddy's head and closed his eyes again. A jolt of electricity went through Buddy's head and he knew what he had to do. He ran out of the house, down the street and into a nearby clinic. Inside the clinic, Buddy told the doctor everything and begged him to go with him. But the doctor asked for his fees to go with Buddy. The doctor made it clear that he could not treat him without fees. Buddy kept begging and convinced the doctor that if he did not go, his friend would die without treatment. But the doctor did not want to listen to Buddy and pushed him out of the clinic. Buddy fell onto the wet road by getting pushed by the doctor. Buddy then slowly stood up and went to a corner and sat down. His eyes were wet with tears and he could not accept it. As he cried, he kept remembering David feeding him. But Buddy was a determined dog. He wiped his tears, stood up and walked towards David's house. He took the key of the shop from David's house and then walked straight to that shop. He unlocked the shop with the key and entered inside, and with his skills cleaned the inside of the shop and made everything ready for sale again. The passers-by on the street were shocked to see that a dog would run the shop, and this news spread like wildfire.
Wow.
After some time, the boys and girls from those schools and colleges came there after hearing this news, and all of them started helping Buddy to sell the food. Slowly, a crowd started gathering in front of the shop, and everyone started showing interest in buying the food in line. At the end of the day, Buddy saw that a lot of money had been collected by selling the food. He thanked everyone profusely and without wasting a moment, he took the money and went to the doctor in the clinic. Buddy left the doctor's due on his table and again begged him to go with him. The doctor was surprised to receive the fees from Buddy and was forced to go with Buddy to his friend's house. The doctor came to David's house, examined him, wrote a prescription and told Buddy, "Bring this medicine to David as soon as you can." Buddy took the prescription and brought the medicines from a nearby medical store and started administering the medicines to David very carefully. He applied a wet compress to David's forehead so that his fever would go down quickly. Buddy cooked soup for David with his own hands and fed him. And Buddy continued to serve him in this way day after day. Finally, one morning, when David woke up and opened his eyes, he felt much better. Buddy was overjoyed to see David well. Buddy was so grateful that he gave David all the money he had earned that day after sell the food. David was surprised to see this and he hugged Buddy to thank him with crying. David said to Buddy, "Buddy, you saved me. Even if I had my own son, he probably would not have done what you did. From today on, you are my son. We will be together forever. After that, David and Buddy happily ran their cake shop together. Friends, true friendship knows no bounds. Through storms and struggles, loyalty and kindness can light the way to miracles.